Professor Suarez coming in with the midterm review. So let's go ahead and get started so that way we could get you guys to take this midterm and pass this test. Okay, so as far as some of the key points that we want to make sure that you guys understand, the first one obviously is social media. What's social media? And as you remember from the first class, the working definition that we're using, it's a medium for delivering content, where that content is provided by the community at large. Examples, of course, are YouTube, Reddit, Snapchat. I noticed that in the first quiz that we did, there was a bit of confusion as far as or determining what social media is based on that definition. Because a lot of people felt that Tinder was not a social media site, right? But if you think about it, a lot of the content and entertainment is provided by the community. So that would fit into that working definition too. Let's see what else. And then we're also going to need, we're going to need to know the 5 stages of a membership cycle. And if you remember from the first class, those are lurkers, novices, insiders, leaders, and elders. I go through it in detail as far as what each one is and what they represent. And as far as the importance of these things in the membership cycle is to really determine when you're setting up your network and really trying to figure out who are the key players to expanding your ideas and sharing what exactly you want to promote. You want to find the leaders and the insiders and the elders who could really promote your product to the next level. The other piece that you want to take into account are trolls, and these are just people who do not follow the protocol or etiquette of communications in social media. And the reason these are so important is because what we often at times find is that trolls are the people who tend to be provocateurs and tend to say things in a way that really get under people's skin, and they say it to kind of make the most movement and the most I guess you could say controversy, because that's what helps to attract and get their message across the quickest. So next we're going to go into the stages of a cycle. And the stages of a cycle go from a state of not necessarily knowing what you want to the point that you actually get to purchase. And it happens in levels, varying levels. And it doesn't happen, in real life, it doesn't happen, awareness, search, research, and purchase. Sometimes it's awareness, and you have some people that just go out and buy. In most cases, there's varying levels to how close they are from kind of becoming aware that they need something to the point where they actually go out and buy. And the reason we use this is primarily in the space of content development and marketing, setting up stages and how we want to release content and media associated with whatever product that we're trying to get across to the customer. And really, the job of any marketing campaign is to get a customer from the state of awareness to the state of purchasing. So in each phase, you also want to, make sure you're comfortable with what each phase means, and what that means for the customer and how they could apply that in content. Now, these are different approaches that we use to determine the environment that we work in as far as developing a marketing campaign. So you want to make sure you're aware of SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You also want to know what the 4 P's are, which is product, price, place, and promotion. The 5 C's, company, collaborators, customers, climate, competitors. The most important question in marketing, WIIFM, what's in it for me? How long does it, and the other piece is, you want to also understand how long it takes for you to convince an audience that the rest of your content is worth viewing, and that's 1.54 seconds. That's how long you have to convince somebody to read the rest of or to view the rest of your content, and that's usually encompassed in the subject line of an email or the title of a content or a video that you put up. And again, that's 1.54 seconds. And this applies to the rule in the book that's 1.54 seconds and 5 seconds. So in the first 5 seconds, what they also elaborate is that's how much time you have to have somebody read the rest of your, or research or listen to the rest of your message. And then the last piece is some of the key differences with these different models. Primarily the difference between the 4 Ps and the 5 Cs and how they came about being. And that's actually in the textbook of Go Mobile. Excuse me. So lastly, we're on the roundabout, and we're on the point of content. And this is really what brings everything together as far as what we've learned. We've taken the steps to really determine what's the environment that we're working in. You come to realize the importance of media and how media can influence our behaviors, and how it's also set up in phases and different steps. And if you were looking to influence behavior in such a way that it motivates people to buy something, that's really when you get into the marketing piece and the marketing side. And at that point of purchase, you would go into using the 4 Ps to really get them to buy the product, which is place, product, price, and promotion. And focusing on those things really nail it home, right? You would utilize the 5 Cs to really understand where it is you fall under with respect to the environment that you're working in. And all these things would help you to develop content in a way that's phased into getting a person from researching, from becoming aware of what they need, maybe searching for information on different options that they have, researching on what they want, and then finally purchasing the product. So once we get into content, you're really looking at different things that are going on. So neuromarketing, for example, is the formal study of the brain's responses to advertising and branding. And this is actually one of the videos that we saw, the TED Talks, where you had the marketing executive who was hired by different companies to develop content that elicits a response based on the reptilian brain. And that's really a powerful tool to have. Is it ethical? That's probably a time for another conversation. Then you have power bloggers, and the difference between a power blogger and an actual blogger is that a power blogger generates traffic and earns money. And those are the 2 main goals, and that's what distinguishes a power blogger from just a regular blogger. Rich media is content that interacts with the people who are viewing it or experiencing it. An example of this is that they give in the book is the True Blood's advertisement that when you click, more blood would show up on the screen, and it was actually, I mean, that's very gory, but it impacted a lot of people and actually influenced a lot of people to watch the season premiere. Another example of rich media is video games, where you're actually interacting with the product that you may be buying. If you're playing a racing game and you're driving an Audi, that's advertising for Audi, and it's eliciting an emotion inside you based on you using it. Or another example is media that allows you to view the space, like if you're like a hotel, if you're allowed to view the space that you're renting and you have like a 360 tour, that's actually a way for you to advertise, and that's another form of rich media. Emoticons, on the other hand, are emotions, or it's a way to relay emotions in text-driven mediums. And these are just emojis, right? And all these, like if you take all these pieces into account, that helps you to develop impactful content that will drive a certain emotion or elicit a certain behavior on what you're trying to get from the clients. Okay, so that is the midterm in a nutshell. 25 questions. That should be coming out shortly. So review some of the material that you've already have, your notes. I found that a lot of the study guides were very effective, and you guys were very close into really outlining what it is that was going to be on the midterm, which I'm proud of you guys. You guys did a very good job with that. And I think that if you guys decide to do a study group or get together to try to figure out what's going to be on the test and study together, you guys would, who knows what you guys could accomplish. All right, so that is that, and thank you guys so much for dropping in. Take care.